All right, what's up, y'all? Hey, listen, I actually got a YouTube channel called Motor Talk with Chris. So what I'm going to do on this channel is I'm going to bring a special video on Tuesdays. I'm going to call it Motor Talk Tuesdays. And Motor Talk Tuesdays is helping individuals understand that I am going to leave the link to Motor Talk with Chris at the bottom so you guys can go check that out, because what I'm doing as a full-time content creator is I am going to really start exercising my knowledge and helping you guys understand what I know about cars. I went to school for cars. I went to 2 different schools for cars. So I understand cars from the fundamental of cars, not how they look, not the engine, more than anything. I understand the transmission, got to match the engine. The tires got to match the transmission. I understand that the transmission got to match the engine. I understand that the power train setup has to match the body of the car, which leads to what I want to talk about today. All right. I want to talk about the Dodge Hellcat. The Dodge Hellcat is a car that if you go look on social media, what you'll see is a lot of individuals wrapping them around trees. But I'm going to be honest with you. Part of it is their fault, but not all of it is their fault. Not all of the reason as to why when you turn on a video watching a Hellcat race and you see a lot of individuals wiping out. As a 56-year-old man, I own 7 cars. I don't own a car that has 700 horsepower. I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's not all-wheel drive and have traction control, I want no part of it. I don't think that on the streets, the tires that's truly needed to drive a 700 horsepower car is not legal for the streets. It's not. Rain, by the mere fact that we have rain, you cannot have slick tires. I'll do that in another video on the next Tuesday, maybe. But so I want to talk about the Hellcat and why it's a flawed car. People, if you're gonna give a car 700 horsepower, the first thing you want to do is you want to slam it to the ground. This is why you see a lot of individuals low riding their cars. You want to slam it to the ground. You cannot have a coupe as a 700 horsepower car and think it's going to be functional. This is why you see a Corvette. When you get in a Corvette, you got to get down into it. Hell, when you're sitting in a Corvette, your outer thigh is rubbing against the frame of the car. You're so low, like you're literally in a Corvette, you're sitting inside the frame. Same thing with the Dodge Viper. You're sitting in the frame. When you get inside of a Hellcat, you're actually sitting in a chair. We'll get back to that. So when I see individuals wrapping their cars around trees, the first thing I say is that horsepower matches the tires. It's impossible. And that's due to the design of the car. A lot of individuals will say, I have a wide body Hellcat. You don't have a wide body Hellcat. You have a Hellcat with fender flares. A wide body car means the body of the car is wide. It doesn't mean that as soon as you get to the tires, they put some fender flares on it. So I'm going to show you something right quick. If you want to look at my cheesy design of the top view of a coupe, what you'll see is right here, you'll see front seats, okay? Right? Front seats. And then you'll see back seats. And then what you'll notice is the wheels runs into the capsule of the back where the seats are. Now, if you didn't have these seats here, you'd be able to put wider tires to be able to, for the design of the car. This is why, by the mere fact of a Dodge Challenger, a Hellcat, the design in itself is flawed. And by the mere fact that the car have back seats, you can't put the proper tires on the car. So let me give you an example of what it is I'm talking about. When you look at the factory specs for a 2016 Dodge Charger Hellcat, the tire size are 275, 40, 20. 275. 275, 40, 20. Now, 275 is the width of the tire. The 40 is the tip of the rim to the top of the tire. That's the 40. The 20 is the rim size in itself. So if I got a 275 on a car with 700 horsepower, I am immediately at a disadvantage. Unless you have slicks. Slicks aren't road legal. So here's an example of what I mean. Looking at again of my cheesy perspective, when you look at this drawing here, the 275, this is the tire. 275 is the width of the tire. When you look at the 40, 40 is the tip of the rim to the outer of the tire. This thickness here is the 40. The 20 is the rim size. That's the 20. 275, 40, 20. All right? So if I got a 700 horsepower, in addition to the 700 horsepower, and when you look at the car, the wheelbase itself puts the car at a disadvantage. All right? So 275, 40, 20 is what a Dodge Hellcat comes with. But I want to show you a 2001 BMW E38. So I took this out, pulled it out because I wanted to show y'all something. Here is my E38, right? So here is the back side, the tire. Where's my tire size at? There's my tire size right there. So my tire size is 285, 40, 18 in the back. And on the front tire, we got 255, 45, 18s in the front. So wait a minute. I have a 2001 E38 BMW sedan, with 315, I think, horsepower in that car at the time. It came with, in 2001, 24 years ago. So a car that was made 24 years ago comes with 285s in the front, in the back, and 255s in the front. Let me tell you something, true story. I'm racing somebody in that car one day. And I'm racing, and I got so much into the race. Now, once again, I was racing an individual one day with that car. Remember, this is WCAR Automotive Talk Radio, 93.3.com FM. Please hit that subscribe button. And once again, I'll put the link to Motor Talk with Chris at the bottom of the video. All right, so I'm driving the car. True story. I'm driving the car. It was when I first got it, probably about 3 or 4 months after I got it. I had no idea the tire size at that time. I didn't put those tires on the car. They were on the car when I brought it. Matter of fact, they actually need new tires because this is 2025. I actually brought that car in 2015. It had 51,000 miles on it. It has 76 on it now. And it sits more than I drive it. When you got 7 BMWs, that's just how it is. But I need new tires on the car. They drive right well anyway. They said, I need new tires. So I'm driving the car. And I got so much into the race that my off-ramp, my exit was coming. And one thing I don't do is I don't race beyond my exit. I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna just have some fun with you. As a matter of fact, I knew where I was at. I probably was about 1.5 miles from my exit. So I said, I'm gonna have some fun with the guy. So we racing, and I got so much into the race, I didn't realize my exit was coming up. When I looked and seen my exit, I had turned the car. I knew as a driver, as a very skilled driver, if I turned the wheel and hit the brakes, the car would have started going like this. I would have went into, the front wheels would have dug in and the back would have swung out, and it would have been disastrous. So I said, I'll jump on the off-ramp, and it was a jug handle. I'll jump on the on-ramp, and then I'll start decreasing my speed. I'll downshift and gently get on the brakes. So I hit the off-ramp. To my surprise, I heard nothing. I didn't hear. I took that off-ramp, and I literally could have stomped on the gas pedal. And when I got home, I said, yo, how did that happen? I looked at the tires, and I said, damn, this thing got 285s on the back. I have a BMW 850. It don't have 285s on it. But it's because of the size of the tires. You cannot, under no circumstances, put a small tire. There is not a Hellcat, unless it comes with slicks, a road legal slick. You shouldn't have 700 horsepower. You should not have. You shouldn't have nothing but probably $600-700 tires on that car, right? So I have 275s on the back of a sedan and 255s on the front, but yet a Hellcat comes with 275s with 400 more horsepower. You see the insufficiency? But let's look at a Dodge Viper. So this is the tire sizes for a Dodge Viper. Look at those numbers. 355s in the rear, 295s in the front for the 17 Viper ACR. For the GTC, you got 295 18s in the front and 355s in the back. That car has a 395 front and a 355 in the back. So you talk about rubber meets the road. You got a 355 back tire. A 355 back tire, you can go 100 miles an hour and take an off ramp and not hear nothing. People, when you hear that from your tires, that's because your tires are under a lot of stress. You are maxing out the capability of your tires. Your tires cannot handle what you get in that car to do. So because of that, you're beating your tires. So in hindsight, it's like your tires are screaming, hey man, what the hell are you doing? Don't do this to me. I'm not designed for this. All right, let's finish taking a look. A 2015 Dodge Viper came with 295s and 355s. So they pretty much had the 355 going on for a good while. But that's a Dodge Viper, a true two-seater, which allows the car to have a large rear tire because it has no back seats. And once again, when you don't have back seats, you allow the car to be properly designed. You allow the car to have a wide enough back tire to handle all that power. I want to be clear about something. When you have a car with, let's see what the stats is for a Dodge. It's 2016 Dodge Hellcat. So here is a Hellcat. It has 717 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque. 650 foot-pounds of torque. That means when you hit the gas pedal, if you don't have your seatbelt on, you'll end up in the trunk. When you create 650 foot-pounds of torque, that's a lot of power. It takes a lot of violent stuff. There's a lot of violence going on in that engine. So when you have that much power, it's the reason why that car, to me, is insufficient. It's a flaw. By the mere design of the car is flawed. Unless you're doing anything other than driving that car in a straight line, yeah, those cars are designed for straight line only. That's it. You got one, you happen to buy one, you came across some money, you're young and it's your first car, ooh, don't put that damn thing around a tree. The powertrain and the power and the powertrain doesn't match. The tires don't match the car. The design of the car don't match the power. It's just a totally flawed car. But hey, I appreciate that. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? I'll be back here next week. Motor Talk Tuesdays.